Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah Hernes, and welcome to my video for the Contemporary Issues Project. Today we will be talking about disability, interabled relationships, gender oppression when it comes to disability and marriage, and just pretty much the social construction that is placed around the concepts of disability and marriage and interabled relationships. When I was younger, I always knew that I wanted to get married one day. It's always been like, I'm gonna get married one day. And it wasn't until I was about 16 that I noticed that girls around me were getting male attention. They were going on dates, starting to have boyfriends, and it kind of bothered me that I wasn't getting the same treatment from males. And when I would try to talk to people about this, especially when I was 16, 17, still in high school, they would always tell me, oh, like, he'll come, like, someone will notice you for you, and maybe it isn't in God's plan for you. And that really made me mad, especially coming from a conservative small town in South Dakota. But it wasn't until I got to college, about halfway through my sophomore year, I was just really in a bad place in my life, and I was really struggling, and I kind of came to the realization of the fact that it's hard for me to relate to other people. And so, I have a disability and others don't. So I'm going to try to hide the fact, even though obviously you can see it. And looking back on that, it was incredibly stupid that I tried to hide it. I tried to say, no, I don't have a disability. I'm just differently abled. I just do things differently than other people, which is true. But I wasn't comfortable saying I have a disability until December of 2018, like I said, and I found the interview with Shane and Hannah Burkhaw. They were in a relationship at the time. Now they're married. And they were just talking about interabled relationships and the fact that just because he has a disability doesn't mean that their relationship isn't normal. It doesn't mean that they don't fight. And it was just an eye-opener. I remember after I watched it the first time, I wanted to laugh and cry because I finally felt like someone that I could relate to about something that I've been struggling with for a long time. Am I going to die alone? But they showed me that I'm not going to. And so for the past 2 years, they've had a YouTube channel that they normalize interabled relationships, and they talk about the fact. So Shane, he's an author, and he has a book called Strangers Assume My Girlfriend Is My Nurse, and it came out in April of 2019. But in April of 2015, he wrote an article for BuzzFeed about how his girlfriend at the time, Anna, and him, they would always get mistaken for nurse and person that the nurse was taking care of, just because he is a male with a disability and she is an able-bodied female, they automatically assumed oh, that's your nurse. And people were astonished to find out that they were a couple, and oh, that's amazing. And so that's something that needs to be addressed because that is so rude and so ignorant. And then a couple of months ago, Shane and his now wife, Hannah, made a video just shortly after they got married. They got married at the beginning of September, about the fact that more about marriage inequality when it comes to people with disabilities, that a lot of people with disabilities don't get legally married because of the fact that if they collect Social Security and once you get married, your income only increases by $1,000, because if you're a single person and you collect Social Security, you can only have $2,000 in your account. But if you're married, it only goes up to $3,000. And anything that your partner makes comes out of all the benefits that you would get because you're on disability. And I didn't realize this until, like, I didn't realize about the when you get married part, your SSI only goes up by $1,000, and then everything that your partner makes comes out of what you get from SSI. So, like, the stuff that your partner makes, you're not going to get that extra benefit because they assume that your partner's just going to help you out. So that is something that needs to be addressed more, and I'm thankful for Shane and Hannah for addressing that, because like I said, I was unaware of this. So when I get married one day, that is going to be something that me and my spouse are going to have to talk about. Yeah, and so I guess my call to action for this video is pretty much just, honestly, just have an open mind. I feel like the social construction and the perspective or the perceptions of people with disabilities are so narrow-minded, like, oh, we're so amazing and inspirational and we're happy all the time, and that's not true. And we have the same wants and desires and that most able-bodied people do. So thank you guys so much for listening, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'd be more than happy to answer them, and I can't wait for our discussion on Friday. Thanks.